Hello students. Yesterday we have discussed the important topics regarding to chapter ray optics, and there we have discussed all the processes and instruments there. So based on the phenomena like reflection, refraction, you can understand easily the concept and instruments that we are using and what will be its magnification like for microscope and for telescopes. Next thing that we will discuss here, that is the chapter electromagnetic waves, and in the case of electromagnetic waves a number of questions that are very important. So different types of questions can be asked from here, but still the question or way of question and the section from which questions can be asked, that are very limited. You can easily prepare them. So here one thing that discussed today, that will is displacement current, and next thing is Maxwell's equation. So as here the concept of displacement current you have understood that already in the case of capacitors also, but still here in case of electromagnetic waves again the displacement current concept will come because it is given by Maxwell there, and the fourth equations in which displacement current introduction is there, that is called modified Ampere's law, and with the help of that we can even calculate electric field whenever there is change in flux for steady current that is flowing in conductor, or for varying current when there is the flow in that. So as you know that Ampere's law, that is for steady current. So whenever the current is varying, then that time Ampere's law doesn't hold there, but still the modified Ampere's law holds for both of the cases, so you can understand that from there. So let's today first of all discuss Maxwell's equation. In that I will discuss displacement current concept and why we are needed, that we'll discuss that thing also in there. So as you have studied from till this thing, that is electrostatic, electrodynamics, magnetostatic and magnetodynamics. So the four branches of physics that you have understood already. In the case of electrostatic, we are taking charge as the stationary, and the field developed outside the it or surrounding to it, and due to that field what is the effect at any point on the surface, inside the surface. What means all the discussions we have done, whenever a charge is at some of the position, means at rest, then that time the branch is known as electrostatic. So for in that branch one important principle was there, one important law was there, that is Gauss law of electrostatic. So first reason if you will write from the electrostatic, that is most important law, that is the Gauss law of electrostatic. So in that case, as Gauss law of electrostatic in integral form if you will write, then the flux enclosed in any surface, that is equal to 1 by epsilon times to the charge enclosed by it. So if you want to calculate what is the flux that is passing through that any surface that is given to you, and for that calculation, and with the help of even you can calculate easily what is the electric field at some point due to the conductor or due to the any charge sheet that is given to you. So in that case it is given by E dot ds, that is equal to, if q charge is enclosed in that, q by epsilon 0. So this is the integral form of Gauss law of electrostatic, and this is known as Maxwell's first equation. So actually Maxwell summarized all of the branch of electromagnetism, means by name it is the combination of electric field and magnetic field. And in case of electric field, two fields that you have read, that is electrostatic, electrodynamics. So static case is that whenever charge is at rest, dynamic case is that whenever charge is in motion. So the effect due to the variation of charge, that is different. The effect due to charge at rest, that is different. For that we have even seen number of cases, calculated potential and the properties of resistance, capacitance. Also we have seen their dipoles and other things. So as this first law is Gauss law of electrostatic. Second thing, if we come into the magnetostatic property. So in case of magnetostatic, first of all here we are talking about the static property. So electrostatic, for that the principle that was very important, that was Gauss law. For magnetostatic case, there is Gauss law of magnetostatic, means whenever the magnet is stationary, that is at rest, then how can you calculate the magnetic field, or how can you calculate the flux that or magnetic flux due to the particular magnet that is given to you. So it is seen that the magnetic flux around a closed curve, that is equal to 0, means no of the magnetic flux that can just pass from the closed curve there. So in this way, the equation that is written like B dot ds, it is equal to 0. Later I will tell you what is the physical significance of all these equations, and that is also very important. So second is that this is Gauss law of magnetostatic. Students, one by one, it's the way in which you are writing the Maxwell's equation, that is also fixed. So you have to understand from where we can start it. Suppose in Maxwell's first equation, if you will write this equation and you have just written 4 of the equation, but still it will be wrong, because sometimes the question can be asked that write down the Maxwell's third equation. So that time Maxwell's third equation is automatically that is fixed. So you have to remind its way of writing also, which one will be first, which one will be second here. So Gauss law of electrostatic, that will be first. Means static cases first you have to written. In static cases first, as we are talking about electromagnetism, so first of all just take the electric field, after that for the magnetic field. So this is Gauss law of electrostatic, Gauss law of magnetostatic. Third equation of Maxwell's that is given. As static cases we have discussed, now we have dynamic cases. So if you will come in the case of electrodynamics, then we know that in the case of electrodynamics, whenever there is a change in magnetic field, there can be production of electric field. So in that case, due to a varying magnetic field, electric field can be generated there. So in that case, as actually whenever we are talking about the magnetostatic, in that case also magnetic field is generated by the motion of the charged particles. So if any conductor, the charged particle that is moving, due to that a magnetic field is generated around it. So in that case, that electric field or that charge, that is steady charges, means it is not varying charges. So in another word, we are talking about the steady value, constant or fixed value of current, and varying value of current, or fixed value of the field, two fields that we are talking about here. Whenever electric field and magnetic field is fixed somewhere, and whenever they are varying. So for that two cases you can also understand it and you can write it. So the third case, when magnetic field is varying and there is the production of electric field due to it. So this law, you know that that is electromagnetic induction process, and that for that process the most important law, that is Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. So the Maxwell's third equation is Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. Actually here we are taking the basic law that can explain the particular fields about which we are talking. Like in the case of electrostatic, whenever charge is at rest and due to that you want to calculate electric field or electric potential at any point, then that time you can calculate easily it by the application of Gauss law. And there, as the electric field that is uniform, that is constant, then in that case easily we can take that any or we can draw any of the Gaussian surface on which the charges are just distributed uniformly. So this is the basic law through which you can calculate electric field or potential easily in the case of electrostatic. Similarly, in case of magnetostatic, you can also calculate magnetic field at any point due to any of the charge that is moving, and in that case Gauss law of magnetostatic helps us a lot, and with the help of that we can calculate it. Even you can also calculate it from the Biot law, but still this is the basic law through which you can calculate it. Third thing, like if you are talking about electromagnetic induction, then in that case whenever there is the variation in magnetic field that occurs, then due to that variation an electric spark that is generated, electric field that is generated, and that electric field, you know, that is given by Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. And with that you can understand easily, whenever there is the variable motion in magnetic field, what will be the induced EMF in the circuit due to that. So in integral form, if you will write the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, then its value is closed integral of E dot dl is equal to minus dv upon dt. So this is means rate of change of magnetic field, that is equal to this production of electric field side any long conductor. And here minus sign, you know already, that is indicating that the electric field here produces, that is opposing any change in magnetic flux. Means whenever there will be change in flux, there will be the production of EMF, but still the nature of that EMF is that it will oppose the source through which it is just generated. So that's why here minus sign is denoting that thing. The last equation, that is the equation for electrodynamics, and means whenever there is the dynamic motion of or variable motion in electric field, means electric field is changing now, as we have took only for the uniform electric field here in the case of Gauss law. But what will be the effect when electric field is varying, electric field is changing? So in that case the variable electric field that can produce the magnetic field, and also a steady electric field that can also produce the magnetic field there. Whenever charge is just moving in any conductor with some velocity, then that time a uniform magnetic field that is produced. But still whenever there is the varying motion of the electric field, then that time also magnetic field is produced. So the steady case is given by whenever the flow of current through the conductor, that is steady. So that case is given by Ampere's law. So with the help of Ampere's law you can write it in integral form, that is B dot dl, this is equal to mu 0 I. So where I is, as this is uniform electric current that is flowing inside the circuit, and this is given by. Now why we needed the modification in the Ampere's law? We have taken all other three laws in the Maxwell's equation, means Maxwell just taken all these three laws as it is, as they was, but still he just modified this Ampere's law. The reason is that you already know that Ampere's law is valid only for the steady currents, but whenever there is change in variation in current takes place, that time this law is not valid. So for that case, for the variation in or rate of change of this thing, then that time, or for whenever there is the variation in electric field is taken, then variation in magnetic field is also being there. So the relationship that he has established by the modification of this Maxwell's law. So after modification, a term that is added here, that is p pi by dt. So this term is known as also displacement current, whole of the term, means due to this term, whole term, here one thing that is added, and also this mu 0 take as the common. So as this I is stationary current, steady current actually, this is not changing with time, but whenever I started to change with time, then that time it is known as displacement current. So here a new concept that is arises, and that arises due to the variation in electric field. As in Ampere's law only we had the constant or steady movement of the electric current there, and due to that magnetic field we can calculate, but whenever there is change then we were unable to calculate that. So this modification he has added due to the movement of the electric field there. So I think now as the four Maxwell's equations we have written, and why we have needed this displacement current and what is the displacement current, how it is arising, that is now clear. And even I have just told you and explained you also with the help of just differential form of this equation, as these are integral forms, and we have also converted in differential form. With the help of that I have shown you why we are needed that. You can also see with the help of this in these integral forms also there. So just see them again and try to understand them. Here next thing is that what is the physical significance of Maxwell's equation? This is very important question also. Maxwell's equations physical significance, what means what the equations are showing. So first equation, that is Gauss law of electrostatic. So this equation is showing that the electric flux or over any closed surface, actually the electric fluxing over any closed surface, that is 1 upon epsilon time to the charge enclosed by that surface. So it means that whenever there is any single charge, due to that single charge also there is also the effect of that charge at any point that is lying within that region, and it will obviously apply the attraction forces or repulsion force depending on the condition what is the charge there, and means at any point it will provide its effect. So magnetic electric monopoles also exist. It means is also that means whenever only you have single charge, then due to that charge you can also calculate the electric field at any point, as this term is not equal to 0. So this is very simple thing. According to Gauss law of electrostatic, simply the flux closed within any closed surface, that is 1 by 0 times is this. And whenever there is change in medium, this is the permittivity of vacuum or free space. When light enters in any medium, its properties changes. You know that only frequency does not change, but still velocity, wavelength, permittivity, that is also changing, because permittivity is the capacity to produce the electric field there. So it means that whenever there are different media that you are taking, the permittivity of the medium, that will also change there. So depending on that you can use that permittivity in this formula. Like if you are talking about the dielectric, that time permittivity will be different, and when you are talking about the conductor, then permittivity will also different. While using plasma medium, again permittivity will change here. Second equation, Maxwell's second equation, that is Gauss law of magnetostatic. It represents the magnetic dipoles, or actually the magnetic dipoles exist, but magnetic monopoles does not exist here. The reason is that from these things you can say that magnetic fields doesn't form the closed loop. If you will draw the magnetic field lines, it goes from one pole to another pole. Means if you will see that magnetic field lines enters at one pole and just go outwards from the another pole. Always there magnetic dipoles, if you will cut every magnet into separate so many parts, but still you will get again whole of the magnet. It's the property of magnet also, means the cut part is also acting as the whole magnet, means it will have again two poles there, north pole and south pole, means always they will have the like the dipoles. Only magnetic monopole means single pole of the magnet, that is not possible. Otherwise magnetic field lines have to form closed curve there, and that time due to that closed curve again you will get some of the magnetic field, but this is the violation of nature, so its value is always equal to 0. So in another word, two meanings are there for this equation. First is that the magnetic flux over the closed surface that is equal to 0. Secondary thing, magnetic monopoles doesn't exist. So these two physical significance of this equation are there. Third is that Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. So as you know that this equation tells us that whenever there will be change in magnetic flux attached to the space that is given, or whenever there is change in magnetic field, then an electric field induced in the system, and that is known as electromagnetic induction there. So due to change a variable magnetic field, there can be production of electric field within any system. And also this induced EMF that is produced here, that opposes its own cause, means it opposes the change in this flux or change in this magnetic field later. So that's why there is minus sign. So this is the physical significance. You know already that by Lenz's law and Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. Last thing is that this is modified Ampere's law and Maxwell's fourth equation. Sorry guys. So modified Ampere's law, that is you know already, whenever there is steady current is flowing through any conductor or varying current is flowing, then due to both of the cases we are getting magnetic field, and due to steady current you have even seen a number of laws there like Biot law and Ampere's law, and due to that steady current you can easily calculate what will be the magnetic field at any point due to the surface that is given or due to magnet that is given. But whenever there will be the varying magnetic field, there will be also the varying electric field, there will be also the generation of magnetic field due to that. So that is the concept of modified Ampere's law. So I think the physical significance of Maxwell's equation, that is clear. The introduction of displacement current, that is also clear. So next thing is that what are the properties of electromagnetic wave, that are very important, because electromagnetic waves are different from the wave that you have seen. Like you have studied already about the mechanical waves in class 11th, and also about matter waves when we were talking about the de Broglie concept here. So about matter waves we have studied that, and also in the case of mechanical waves, as it needs medium and the oscillation of the particles is in the same direction as the direction of propagation, and there were so many natures also. In the same way, means what are the properties and nature that the electromagnetic waves have. So one by one you can summarize all the properties here. Like first property, that is the electromagnetic waves, how can they produced actually? So they are produced by oscillating electric and magnetic field. So due to oscillations they are produced. As you know that the generation of wave is due to oscillations of the particle and due to transfer of energy in the oscillation during the oscillation of the particles, that generates a wave. So the concept of wave is primary, that is applicable to every types of systems or waves that we have. So here the oscillations that are by the charged particles means oscillating electric fields generated. Oscillating electric field means change in electric field that will generate magnetic field, change in electric field that will generate magnetic field, and change in magnetic field that will generate electric field again. So in this way, continually electric and magnetic field that are oscillating, and they are generating continuous electric magnetic field and so on. So in this way, this is the way to produce electromagnetic waves there. Only we have to oscillate, or system have to oscillate one of the parts of it, one of the field of it. After that oscillation, automatically other production will be there. Second thing is that you know that electromagnetic waves doesn't need any kinds of medium for its propagation. So as they are showing radiation property, you know already that only from one point to another point they are propagating, but they don't need to transfer their energy, or they don't need any kinds of medium for their propagation. Third thing, they are traveling in space with the free space with the velocity that is equal to velocity of light, 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. All the electromagnetic waves have the same velocity, whenever they are propagating through the vacuum or free space. But whenever they are entering to any of the medium, then its velocity is depending on the medium through which it is traveling. Like in dielectric, it will have different media. Reason you know that velocity is that the property that are related to the properties of medium that will change, and as the frequency of the electromagnetic wave that is not changing during its propagation through any of the media. Reason the frequency is related to the characteristics of the source, and as the source is not changing, then frequency will not change there. Next thing, here the oscillation of electric and magnetic field that is perpendicular to each other always, and also they are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So as you know that when particles are oscillating perpendicular to the direction of propagation, then that time its nature is called transverse nature. So here electromagnetic waves possessing transverse nature always. Here always electric and magnetic field and direction of propagation thrice are mutually perpendicular to each other. So you can easily obtain the direction of electric or magnetic field. Suppose that the direction of propagation of electromagnetic wave that is along the x-axis, and the oscillation of electric field you know that is along y-axis. So automatically you can with the help of transverse nature property, it's the direction of magnetic field that will be along z-axis here. So in this way, continually perpendicular oscillations they are propagating, they are showing transverse nature. It is also a very important property of electromagnetic wave that they have transverse nature and they are continually propagating in that space. Next thing is that the magnitude of electric field in electromagnetic wave that is greater than the magnitude of magnetic field, and also you can calculate what is the magnitude of electric field and magnetic field that are related by V is equal to C, or simple E is equal to C times to the magnitude of just magnetic field. So obviously sometimes while studying polarization and other concept, other properties of light, we are taking only the concept of electric field for their understanding. You can also take their magnetic field, any one of the component you can take there, either electric field or magnetic field, and you can just explain all the properties of light. But still at most of the places, as you have seen, we are taking the concept of electric field. Reason is that the magnitude of electric field is much greater than the magnitude of magnetic field. So greater magnitude helps us a lot to understand the concept there. So we are just taking this for our conceptual clarifications there. Next property is that there the energy carried by the electromagnetic wave, that is simply the sum of energy carried by electric field and energies carried by magnetic field. So as we know that energy carried by electric field, that is half epsilon 0 E square. Here we are talking about the free space, suppose that. So their permittivity will be epsilon 0. So this is the energies carried by the electric field in free space, and this is half mu 0 H square. This is energy carried by the magnetic field in just free space. And if you will take just addition of these two, then this is known as the electromagnetic energy of electromagnetic wave. And the relationship between H and B, you already know that. Next property is that here the electromagnetic waves that are uncharged, they will not be deflected by electric or magnetic field. They will behave just like the T there. Next one important this property of electromagnetic wave is that electromagnetic wave carries momentum and energy with them. So as you can see that obviously they are just carrying momentum with them, they are just propagating, they have some of the moving masses, so that's why they will just carry momentum and they will carry energy automatically. That energy is this. and whenever they are striking to any surface, any metallic surface, then due to their momentum carrying property, they just apply a force on the metallics or any surface through on which they are striking. So when they are just applying force, then obviously they will apply a pressure on the surface there. So that pressure is known as radiation pressure. That is, whenever any electromagnetic wave that is incident on the surface, then it always applies a pressure on it when it just transports some of the momentum to the metallic surface. So they are transporting momentum, they are carrying momentum. Their momentum is very small also, as mass is very small there, and most of the energy of them they are carrying in form of kinetic energy. So that's just they penetrated the system. It means that only some of its momentum they are transferring to the surface, but rest of the momentum they carry just or rest of the energy they will carry with it, and that is used in their propagation. So only small amount of momentum they are transferring, a large amount of energy they are carrying with them, large high amount of just kinetic energy. Secondary thing, they whenever they will strike on metallic surface, yes, they will transport momentum to it, whatever the momentum they are transferring there. So these are the basic properties of electromagnetic wave that are very important. Every point is important. Depending on every point, there can be question, conceptual question, a number of conceptual question can be asked there, number of numerical question can be asked also with the help of all these. And here some of the wave property that can be used also there. So I think students, today we have discussed Maxwell's equation, displacement current and properties of electromagnetic wave. That is clear. So in next class we will discuss about electromagnetic spectrum, uses, application, whatever there is that. So let's today just end the class here. Rest of the things we will discuss in next class. Thank you.